All right, Ty, you're holding it down there, so you're gonna have to give the intro then.
I've never done that before, but there we go. There we go. Welcome to episode 24.
24.
Nice. 24.
SA. Here we have members from SIX60. My boy Machu, Jai.
Yeah, bro.
Welcome.
Pleasure to be here, man. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
And we got me mate here. What do we call it?
Thanks for the
Skype.
intro, Ty. All right. Well, thanks also Batuna for making sure that we set this up so we could keep doing that podcast while I'm overseas. We've got Matthew Jai and the gold platinum, all your albums selling now. Yep. So
yeah, mate,
killing off at the moment. New album release.
Yep. Yeah, lots
Let's
going on, man.
So
where did you just come from?
We've been on the road for a while now. Actually, maybe a little over a month. We've been through Europe, UK, about halfway through this Australian tour now. So we came straight from the Gold Coast, just played a show there.
Yep.
And we've got a couple of days here doing press and hanging out in Sydney before we head to finish with Brisbane, then back to Sydney. For some reason we're doing it a strange way. Play Sydney Friday, then Perth on Saturday, and then we go home for a little break.
And then you come back to Sydney?
Well, go to Brisbane for Thursday, and
Yeah.
then come back to Sydney for Friday. Yeah. Don't ask me why.
Every
we're here
sold
for
out.
us. Yeah.
Yeah, every show's been sold out. Brisbane is the last one to go. And
Crazy.
Yeah, amazed by the reception, bro. Like, we've been coming to Australia for a minute, and every time we come, you know, the rooms get bigger, the fans get more feverish, and you know, we pride ourselves in being able to connect, make people, you know, kind of not worry, lose their inhibitions a lot, and feel comfortable to express themselves and feel free. That's what we're trying to create with a SIX60 audience, and it, you know, the proof's in the pudding. You know, we're selling out shows, people are coming through and they're loving the music, and the reactions we feel on stage are exactly what we've been hoping for and been working towards for such a long time. So it's awesome to see it all come to fruition.
Mm.
And it looks like he's only just starting as well. Like, even though as big as you guys are, it looks like it's only just beginning with the amount of people that are getting behind you guys now.
Yeah. Well, I think that's kind of a blessing and a curse with us. Like, we always seem to lift the bar every time we achieve something we want to do. We aim for something bigger. So it really does feel like there's some kind of special swell around us at the moment, and not only in Australia, like all the way through Europe. Like, the rooms are getting bigger there, the music's spreading, the fans are just everywhere now. So yeah, it's humbling.
Yeah, well, I think I've been to every show you've had in Australia, and and every time, like I said before, more hongies, just more and more, all everywhere, and it's
sure.
and I think it's a buzz. Like, obviously, I met Mutt through Selby and through fighting and whatnot, but yeah, just to watch you out there and just like watch it get bigger and bigger. I think that's sick. Like, just to still watch you now and how many people listen to you now. It's awesome. But
but likewise too. Yeah, likewise with you boys. Like,
Cheers,
watching you
brothers.
fight, watching following your journey and following your improvements and your work as well has been a pleasure for us, man.
Mutual admiration, bro.
Thank you.
Was the stadium in New Zealand, was that the biggest one you guys have done now, the biggest show?
Yep. Yeah, by far. That's 50,000 people in a really iconic venue back home. Now we're one of 4 artists to sell out that venue. It's us, Bob Marley, David Bowie, and the Rolling Stones. So cut it out.
What I want to know about these parties I see back in the days. I've heard a lot about them and whatever else, but I've never got to actually talk to to you guys about it. But like, those parties I've seen and like what you were doing, like what the hell was that? And like,
well,
because I like parties and that shit. I was just like, wow, I wish I was there.
Yeah. Well, so we all met at in Dunedin at Otago University, which is a city in the South Island, New Zealand, and it's exists partly because of this university. It's such a big integral part of the city and its kind of existence, and so also a lot of kids get to go down there and they're kind of free from their parents for the first time, like as it happens with university. So people just go wild, and the whole kind of the city kind of lends itself to these massive parties, becomes kind of like a student ghetto in a way.
Yeah.
And that's kind of part and parcel of your experience in Dunedin. There's a lot of flat parties, couch burnings, and just kind of
couch burning.
Debauchery. Yeah, it's just kind of crazy shit.
What's that mean?
I think it often gets misconstrued as being like not what it is.
Oh no,
because
I'm loving it. I'm loving the sound.
It's quite a like, even though there are a lot of parties, it's a really like warm, friendly environment. Like light a few couches on fire, but we have a good hug afterwards.
Yeah. You can imagine young kids like that away from their parents and fueled by alcohol. You can imagine.
Of course,
left alone, they're going to get up to some debauchery. But it was a good balance, between ambition and drive and trying to achieve stuff, but enjoying yourself.
So what would you do? You just like obviously use the band, and what would you do? Just like tell everyone, we're playing, we got a party this time, and then jump on the roof,
right.
Like I'm talking those days, back when I used to watch, and just there'd be like every user on the roof and just like rocking out, like that shit looks like a movie, but I talk to other people and they're like, nah, that's like that's like real life happening.
We used to quite often, we'd drink at a pub down the road, and our flat 660 on Castle Street was actually on one of the main streets that a lot of the students used to drink on and hang out on, and also live on. So we were kind of central to a lot of young kids that were there and in the same boat as us, and we'd quite often play shows at our flat, and quite often people would just come in from the pub, friends of ours, friends had been friends. That was really how it all began. And
you reckon that's how you built your solid, like
100%? That's solid, where it started. Yeah.
And we are a real product of the culture down there. It's like, you're young and trying to make it, and you're aspiring for big things, but then you have this party culture. And when we found each other through music, we were all on different paths. There was no intent of us being in a band, or let alone being successful. It was like we're going down to be at university, and we found ourselves. A bunch of us played rugby together, and our musical experience was jamming the guitar in the changing rooms afterwards. And then had lived in the same dorm as Jai, and that turned in us like going to a room and having a jam, and really about the feeling that music gave us and what the city kind of felt like, this party atmosphere, this like just being free and expressive. And that just built into in our second year we moved into 660 Castle Street, and Castle Street is this famous flatting street in Dunedin, and we made a makeshift studio in one of the rooms, and we're just drink and jam, and that's what it was. It was about having fun. There's really no intention of doing anything. We were just slowly falling in love with this game that is music, and that would turn into at the pub, invite people back to the house and would do a little show for them, and then that would turn into flat parties and grow into into bars, and it really was this natural progression. And honestly, if our entire career now, we're just kind of going off people are wanting more, and we're reacting to the thing. Even our name, we were living in 660 Castle Street, and people just started talking of us as the 660 boys. Yeah. And so we were named by the people. Yeah. And then we're trying to create that environment for people to come and feel together in a show. That same feeling you might feel when you're like just in the garage playing the guitar. Yeah. We're trying to create that environment on a larger scale, and really the people have dictated where this whole thing has gone.
It's interesting because like we to this day we are the people's band, and to kind of look back at the reasons why we got together and why we did it in the beginning, we're still kind of the same. We met because we were friends and we were playing rugby together, and I think in some ways that is our superpower. Like these core things that we started with are only exemplified now, and yeah, it seems to really ring true with everyone.
I hope he's weren't as good as rugby as you are, buddy. As singers, he's been good.
We're all right. We can play.
Like you said, your intent wasn't to do music. Like what you seem like very deep guys. What were you studying at uni? Like it wasn't music that you're studying.
No, actually, Jai and I were both denied from the music school in Dunedin.
Fuck you, that school. Shame.
So we kind of bonded on this.
They always walk past the school, just do that slow.
Which is obviously hilarious. So we bonded on it. We bonded on a kind of mutual failure. But you know, we're all there to. I studied law actually, and one of the boys engineer. Yeah, I got my degree. Made sure I finished that. Jai was doing design. There's an engineer in the band. One did computer science, and Chris, the bass player, is just a dropout. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
But like I said, it's like none of us knew what we wanted to do. I knew that if I was going to go to university, I wanted to do something that, when I came out, I had something tangible. I wasn't just, I wanted. University, has its flaws as well. I mean, if it's not to be a doctor or a lawyer, you can get every other educational experience through life, trying to be like marketing or some shit. But we knew that what we wanted to do, we wanted to be good the best at it. And we've had this drive and this desire to be great.
Yeah, I think the moment we decided to do it, for real, we all kind of galvanized around that collective point of doing whatever we're going to do it really well.
Yep.
And
nice.
Yeah, I think that's really important as well.
Of course.
For sure. Every person that we've spoken to that's either that we've had success in whatever they're doing it's always been that picking one thing and just going 100% at it rather than and it's cool that all five of you were able to get together on that point. Have you had time to like reflect on like coming back to it, like where it's all come from and where it started? Like after this touring, do you get time to rest and look back on it, or is it straight back to work?
There's always work to do, bro, and we're always looking for stones to turn over and what more we can do to get better. But and to be honest, we've actually gotten better at reflecting and celebrating. We set aside time for that purpose, because it's important to reflect and know where you got to know where you've been to know where you're going. And we used to just have our heads down and work. And I can imagine it with training. If you just head down and you're just busting your ass all the time and don't consider about taking breaks and having a rest and reflecting, then you're just going to burn out. And the same thing happens in music and being creative. You have to you have to sit behind the jab, and look for openings and not just swing haymakers 100%, because you're gonna get caught and get found out. So at the beginning you're just like balls to the wall, swinging haymakers, trying to like just knock doors down, and then you get to a point where you just run out of gas. And then with that comes a whole other lot of problems, and you have to reassess everything. So we've become a lot better at jabbing our way in and picking our moments and making sure we have
run
impact.
Out of gas a few times.
And that's part of the learning process too. No regrets on that. We had to. It's how you learn. So
you got to go through it to understand it, and
100%.
And you do there are different ways to look at it. In the past you think taking off the gas is stopping, but really it's time for growth and reflection. And as Mutt said, I think we've gotten a lot better at not only doing that, but understanding why we need to do that.
What the fuck? It sounds like he's got it all sorted out to me. Shit. All goods to me, yo. It's a hands up for me.
Oh,
damn, shit.
There's always stuff to do, man. By no means do we think that we're we're very
and with the band, there's five of you. There's one person right. How does I don't really know much about music and this and that, but like, how does that work? There's one person right, there's five of yous right, there's everyone just like, does someone pop up one day and be like, oh, this sounds good? Like, how does that all go? How does that all work?
Well, it's it's been different over the years, but recently it's been whatever ideas have come out, like Mutt and Marlon have kind of taken it and either developed it or worked with writers around the world, and just done incredible jobs and pushing our music and our sound to the level that it's at now.
The writing process has just developed, just like every other part of our other part of what we do. At the beginning, it was like sitting in a room all together and doing this thing, and but what we found happen there is we become almost reliant on each other for your output, and then if people work on completely different timelines and mental structures, and the way they work is completely different, and it doesn't line up. So what's happened now is we've actually tried to celebrate everyone's differences a lot more and support each other in their own personal journey, because we're only as strong as the individual. So if we can try and create an environment where people can be the best they possibly can be, then it's only gonna help this bigger thing. And not rely on anyone, not just labels and management and everyone. We have to steer the ship, and you have to steer it individually. Jai has to steer his own boat. I have to steer my own boat. Chris has to steer his own boat. And if we then the only job that happens is making sure we're going in the right direction. And then it's fucking game over, bro. Where it's just powerful, you can't really mess with that.
More minds are better than one.
Does that mean that there's like the individual songs where they've written the whole thing and that's like their story, but you're the one singing the words? Do you know what I mean? Is there any song?
That's definitely happened before, where Jai or Marlon have written a song and I'm singing it. But it's just whether you feel it and it's convincing and there's a spark in there that you believe in. And it doesn't really matter who writes it. You know it when you feel it, and you're like, this is just a mean song, and you're gonna sit.
He's got me thinking of like Bohemian Rhapsody. Have you watched it?
I haven't seen it yet.
Baddest movie. Boom, boom, boom. That acting like I'm in a band.
But it's worked out that way. We used to think that we had to have one mind, but no, we have to have 5 minds working, just moving in the same direction. And it offers you so much more variety. So much more freedom in the work.
I think like also the journey has been learning to work as a team and understanding like it's different. I think for fighters and in some regards, because it's just and I say this with the utmost admiration. It's just you in the cage or you in the square circle.
You
so
keep a fighter's mentality. Really, you're alone in it. So responsible for your happiness or your work ethic.
So we've had to learn how to not only be, I think, fighters as individuals and whatever we view that as, but also collectively as a team, and how helping a team work is a journey in itself, and something we're definitely better at now.
Oh yeah,
and but a continuous journey, like.
Bad times, bro. It's like always go through them.
I could just imagine like a group of 5 boys. There'd obviously be disagreements and whatnot, and of course, you're friends. There's always going to be, And
you hate arguing with your mates. Bad arguments anyway. But it's a journey, man.
Any like mad band ones, or you just?
We've had big ones.
Big ones, What? Just everyone just lose it.
Yeah, just because we didn't know how to, you didn't know how to communicate. You didn't have the skills to deal with situations like that. And you didn't have the maturity to set your ego aside and actually take criticism because you know that it's for the right reasons. We all want to be the shit, but we want to be the biggest band in the world, and we want it to work out. And we used to look at all these external things. We need this, and we need this, and we need this, and then the list of things we needed just piled up, and it was like a Jenga set would just tip over, And we work really hard to just simplify those goals we want. It's really simple. We just need to stick together, allow each other the space in the room to be themselves, and the rest really takes care of itself. Like I can imagine, if you just all your goal is today is to get to the gym, then the rest will take care of itself. Your daily list shouldn't be I need to do this much time on the bag and this much sparring rounds and then these push-ups and sit-ups. It's like it can be simple as one thing: go to the gym, and then I'll end up just doing all the stuff I need to do because I know. So that's kind of
Just try and get there, Ty.
You put yourself.
Have you put yourself to the gym today, Ty? Have you been to the
gym? Awesome. Why are you laughing?
That's really cool. What?
I'm sweating to do.
Yeah, I'm sweating too. Hot in this
It's
little room.
hot in here, bro.
Okay, now.
I'm good,
You're skinny.
Little boy.
Yeah.
Little kid over here.
The other thing we realised too is that we are massive fight fans.
Well, I was just about to bring that up. I don't know if a lot of your fans know, or a lot of other people know that you actually will punch the fuck out of most people that I know, because I've trained with you before, and smart as can sing and punch the shit out of you. So watch yourself, everyone.
And you women.
So,
Shut up.
But yeah. So with the fighting stuff, how did you get into? You're such a big fan of boxing that I know, and how did you get into that? I know your family's.
Well, my dad would just kind of take us. He's not a fighter, but it was really he went and did it for fitness.
Yep.
And then he just because we were younger would take us to the gym and.
Yeah.
As if your dad's training in the corner, you're stuck in the gym. You ended up learning
Doing
some things
something.
and having to spar when you're a kid and stuff. And that was like a real. I only remember it as being like the scariest experience,
Yeah.
because there's nothing quite like fighting because you really are alone in that thing, and it's quite easy to get found out. Even particularly the mental side of things, it really shows up in your the way you carry yourself and how it's like. I just fell in love with the fighting, the fighting spirit, and what it takes to be great at the thing, and sport in general, really, but fighting really stuck out as one because it really is standalone.
Jai, you get in there for some
Yeah. So I was actually really feel privileged from my journey through boxing and martial arts and everything I've been through. Mud actually got me into it probably shortly after we met, and I attribute a lot of my strengths now to my time in the boxing gym, and as Mutt was saying, like we see so many similarities between what we do and fighting. Just the simple idea of walking out on a stage and facing something that scares the shit out of you is something I think that a fighter can relate to, and the fighter and everyone can relate to, and I think spending time in the boxing gym, spending time jiu-jitsu, any martial arts, just not only gave me like a sense of confidence, but also a calm and intense moments that I don't think I would have found anywhere else. So I'm a huge fan, man. I'm probably
it's actually kind of cool to hear from like people. Oh, sorry.
No. I was just asking, do you guys like rituals? Like I know a lot of fighters and stuff have rituals before they're walking out onto the stage. Do you guys go through?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, my fight day, game day, show day is really about becoming as calm as possible. I like to put myself in an environment where I'm happy, and I already know everything I'm going to know that day, so for me it's about feeling good and enjoying it. So I like to laugh, I like to play a bit of PlayStation with the boys. I like to.
Are some musicians different? Is it like I would think like it's kind of like a thing, like that's what people want to do, you know what I mean? Do some people act different? They get like real nervous, or do they get?
I mean,
everyone's different.
I think everyone's different, man. Like for me, it is that, it's just getting to a place of happiness and calm.
Backstage, you should see some shit. You should see some shit that happens backstage, man. It's like
I can only imagine.
Some people you just look at them like, why are you here? Why you want to do this? Like some of them look like they're actually going to die before they walk out. You're like,
right.
Why? It doesn't look fun. Like,
yeah.
But then they go out there and they fucking just kill their shit. They're just like, they're just the best fighters. You're just like, wow, fuck, you didn't expect that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, right.
So everyone's kind of different.
What's your process?
Oh fuck, I'm happy. I don't get to train anymore. I'm like, I just want to fight.
Yeah.
But I think that's why I do it. I love the fight. I love the walking out. I love I like the pressure.
Yeah.
Like I like the fact that you're gonna win or lose. Obviously, it's good when you win.
Yeah.
Shit when you lose, but I like
rub,
that
though,
rush. Yeah, I like that. Like I think that for me is a fight.
Yeah.
You're either gonna. Yeah, that for me is. I think that's why I do it. So.
do you get any? So you don't like to train as much as to fight?
I don't like to say I don't like to train. It's just more like, you know.
Yeah.
I would if someone to say, do you want a training session or do you want to like actually punch someone?
Yeah,
gotcha. We're fighting.
Yeah.
Do you spar a lot then? Is that a good?
I don't think as much as I should.
Because I know there's like.
Why can I hear laugh?
I know like.
Ty's the worst sparrer that I've ever met.
I'm the worst sparrer. I'm not gonna lie.
Why? What makes
Look
it worse?
at me. I'm sweating sparring over here.
What makes you? Why? Because you.
I think that I don't know. I think sometimes I just take it too.
You're trying to fight in
Like
the sparring.
I can fight. I can fight good. My sparring shit.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know.
It's like he can't turn. It's like he doesn't want to hurt people in there because it's like if he turns the fight on, you know what I mean. He's going to hurt them, so he almost just turns off completely.
Yeah, I kind of can't play with that line. I'm either going to fight you.
Yeah.
I'm growing. I'm getting better. I think now I'm learning. I have to get to, like I have to push myself different ways to get you know, as what you do. You have to. Some things that I have to, like that thing for me, I get in trouble a lot because I don't spar good. You know, but now I have to, like my mind's different now. I think that next year what I'm going to do is, you know, I'm going to approach it different.
That's awesome.
Because I've obviously had a few, you know, losses. So
Yeah.
I'm not winning. I got to do something to get better.
Yeah. You know, the reason I ask because like James Toney would only spar for his training. That's all he did. And
now look at him.
If I guess. Yeah, now look at him. But you know, that what I learnt is that I know that here's this grand thing that I want to be. I don't even know what it looks like.
Yeah.
I know it's my potential, basically what it is, the best I can possibly be. And I don't know where that, it doesn't matter where that sits in relation to other people. I don't care about being compared to others. The goal is to be the best version of myself as possible. And I learned that nothing changes if nothing changes, you know.
Yeah.
If I continue down the same track and don't try to change anything, then I'm destined for the same thing over and over again. And fuck that, because it's just, you know.
You just keep doing the same.
That's why I'm in NZ at the moment. But mainly because of one of our acquaintances, and that's why I brought up the mental side. Yeah, I brought up the mental side because it was actually Selby that started teaching me. He took me to Thailand and taught me about all the mental side of fighting. And, you know, he's a very deep dude. And I was like, guessing that's why we're acquaintances. And I like all that really deep mental side that you have. Especially looks like you guys put towards everything. Acquaintance.
Can I get that in a sentence?
What did you say? But I mean, respect for getting after it. You know, like that's there's a thing I dislike about how we talk about people and how you are just what you are and like, you know, if you are, this is your character and this is what you are and that's what you'll be all the time. You know, even like star signs do that thing. It's like I'm an Aries and it's like everyone just thinks that I'm an Aries and I'm just have this character about me. It's just bullshit. The best thing about being a human is our ability to change ourselves and to develop and grow. And if, you know, if the more people who can realize that and they know that, I think I
saw like a funny meme, like something like that, like, you know, someone, it's because I'm this star sign. I was like, no, it's because you're a bitch.
Lazy, bro.
Yeah. People need excuses, you know.
Yeah.
And I think outlets like that just only inflate that view that it's not up to you to change. It's something external.
Yeah.
Mark kind of touched on it before. Like our everyone's battle is an internal one. So it's how you can reach your potential, you know, and whatever blocks you're putting in front of you to stop you doing that are really your own fault. And the quicker you get to that, the quicker you'll progress.
I totally agree with you. It's like I say the same to a lot of people. Where I'm from, like it's easy to just go on and be like, oh, we're from here, or my dad doesn't do this, or you know, my dad wasn't there, or my mum wasn't there, or this and that. It's like everyone can kind of, like, that's just an excuse. You're just grabbing onto something to explain why you're not going to do well. You know what I mean? I'm like, and that's why I say to a lot of my people, you know, I've lost a lot of people over time just because of, you know, bad decisions or choosing something that was worth more than at that time. You know what I mean? So, But I look back and like that, like he's saying, you know, like people just trying to grab onto something, you know, just so they don't fall and hit themselves. They just want to try and grab onto something and bring someone down. Or
you don't want to handle the shame of the failure. No, it's fair, really. But,
but once you cop it on the chin, you realize like.
You realise it's not that bad.
It's not that bad. You only have to change.
Straight up.
It's like taking the first punch. You're like, oh, it wasn't that bad. Unless it was a real bad one.
Depends on the punch.
And who's throwing it like, did we fight?
What happened?
Maybe the first jab. Yeah, that's a better description.
Well, I feel like I just performed a fucking set at SIX60. It's hot in here. I don't know what are you in the aircon there, Tice, or... You all good?
Nah, bro, there's no aircon. I don't know why, but every apartment I've been to in New Zealand so far, they don't have aircon.
Maybe because it's always cold over here. There all the time.
No, but it's hot here cold. It's hot.
Oh, is it?
Nah, it's hot here at the moment.
You can get hot.
Yeah, I'm dripping.
Bro, you can't even see in Sydney right now. Out in Penrith, you can't even see down the road. I think the fires are on the river, so they're going. It's pretty smoky. It's smoky as at Elba. You can't even see. So
it was real smoky.
Did you say the fires are all the way to the river?
But they're on the dam. They're on the Warragamba Dam. That's our main water supply, and that's 20 minutes from us. So
crazy.
They're still burning.
Oh fuck yeah! Jesus. It's fucking on fire. Like our whole country's fucking on fire.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I don't know. I see some shit like that. They're not paying the fireys and shit like that. Is that right? Sort of, kinda. Oh, who knows? That's that
sort of, kinda.
Yeah, I don't know. You know that politics shit, man. I don't get it. But take my hat off to all the firefighters, man. Much love to all you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Kiwis have come over too to help.
Yeah,
a lot of people are helping.
I've been seeing some Americans and Canadians and some Kiwis. Yeah,
it's terrible, man.
Man, it's full on. Well, you're here, you can see. It's fucking.
Like
and we're in Sydney, so like. Yeah. We're like near the water. We're on the water.
Yeah. Well, like I said, in Gold Coast, it was real
smoky too.
Smoky, yes. I assume it was the fires, but you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think
crazy red sunset from all the smokes. Yeah, real tragedy.
Fuck. Shout out to all them people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was it the Batuta boys saying that it's like some of the fireys or something that start them, the volunteers? They're like they've got a lot of firebugs in there. Like some of them are like a lot of man-made, just as arsonists.
Oh, like dudes starting them.
I just saw this article on the way here. This 13-year-old kid got charged for murder or manslaughter because he started a fire and it burned a 69-year-old or something like that.
Crazy.
Jesus.
Well, fucking little fuckers, put the fucking shit down. Why are you fucking out there lighting fires?
You know where they need to go? They need to go to the boxing gym.
They need to go get a hiding. Fucking little shit.
Solve a lot of problems, man. Fuck.
Big time.
Well, you think Australia's clued up at the danger now, right? So it's like that kid wouldn't have known.
Yeah, but I think some of the cases, like they know that the fires are happening and they're like, oh fuck it, we'll just go start another one.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just
it's crazy.
Little cunts.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Need good hidings.
Can I run to the bathroom?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Do you need to read? Like, I watched Drumline once.
Yeah, and
like, is that a thing? Like, you have to know how to read music?
You definitely don't have to.
You don't have to.
Don't have to at all. But it just, I guess, like provides you different kind of skills. You know, like sometimes I wish I knew the kind of math of it all. Being like, okay, I'm at this chord, and if I add, you know, like it's all there. But no, it's all kind of done by feeling, and it means we get a different outcome. I think because we approach music differently. Not thinking too much about how it makes sense in terms of chords and structures, but I think a lot about the effect that it's going to have on people and how it'll make them feel and the experience they're going to have.
Have you started getting trained now, like vocally and like as it's gotten? No. Wow,
just got it, G.
Got it, hey?
Yeah.
Nah, G.
I don't know. I've just been personally. I've just been singing for as long as I can remember. It's just
I've shown you a few things.
Yeah, you taught me a few things.
You know,
I was
taught me. I was
also untrained.
I got that.
Imagine if I was trained. Imagine.
Yeah, well, there's that potential there, bro. You can tap into.
I don't want to really go.
Maybe you can sing.
Stop making excuses, bro. Go be that singer.
You can sing yourself. First guy to sing themselves into the ring. Woo!
You know I would do some shit like that.
I remember what'd you come out to that, was it ding 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 ding?
Yeah.
Just singing that, making my way downtown. Oh, legendary shit.
See, he wasn't even singing it sound better than some shit I already did. Fuck.
But no, I've been singing for as long as I can remember, so I had my training in that. Like, I've just done it a lot.
Yeah.
So I've been training my whole life.
Yeah.
It's reps, you know, like
Muscle memory.
We work reps instead of like it definitely. They are different people, the classically trained people and us.
Yeah.
But you know, it does provide us a different perspective on music, and it does have its limitations. But I also think it has massive, I guess, potential for us to really tap into what people want, because we think about music in terms of how it makes people feel. And I think, that's a really good thing.
100%.
One of my favorite songs, I just need to ask, So High, who who wrote that?
This Marlon and I worked with this producer in New York.
Yeah.
And they just
And what
came out in one session.
So you just
Did like one day.
what, the whole song?
Yep.
Far out.
Fuck off.
Well, you know, every
That's
song.
my favorite song. What do you mean? You just did that? You didn't even think about it?
Not really.
Were you high?
No, I wasn't at that time.
Oh.
The best songs, sometimes the best songs do though.
Yeah,
often the ones that take the least resistance.
And what is what is the fastest song that you as a band has like, or anyone, like, what is the fastest song you have done?
Couple hours, I think, comes together pretty quick.
Yeah.
What's that song? Do we know?
On our EP, the song called Rivers.
Fuck off.
That was like 3 hours, I think, 2 hours.
He's so fucking
Yeah.
kidding.
But you know, then there's other songs that took like a year, bro. It took ages to try and fight out. You had to work uphill against it. But you know, you can't have one without the other. It's like the reason you get those songs that happen in an hour is because you've done all those that hard work and that graft, you know. So
Man,
how
up
crazy
closer
is
and
that,
under
man?
feet.
That's so
yeah.
But
Every songwriting experience is different. We try and we talk a lot about breaking down the walls, no boundaries, no limitations. You know, knowing how to read music itself is a limitation in a way, because you're confined to this schooling you've had. You know, just the way school does to people. Actually, you go to school and you're just being trained and what's the word? You've been
You've been
word.
I think
molded.
You've been
Molded,
limited, but a big
And
thing we
To learn that way.
Yeah, and then it's really hard to break out of those things. That's what your upbringing is. You just, when you get to a point that you're like, I am just these things I've been told. You've been domesticated, and then
that's the one.
Yeah, and then part of your growing up is being aware and realizing your domestication and what are those things that the characters you have because of those things they've been put in you, and then going about breaking them down so you can truly be free, because you know, creativity is what we love, and we don't want it to be stifled by anything, you know, and fighting is a creative prospect too. Is why I think I love it so much, because you to be great at music, and I can imagine being great as a fighter, you need to know how to throw a jab and throw combinations and where you put your footwork. You need to know all the details, and you need to know them so much that you can forget about them, you know. It's like when you get into the ring, you just fly off inhibitions and you just flow.
Just flowing.
Yeah, and same with music. It's like why we kind of transcend through so many styles and genres is because we didn't come in here to try and be a reggae band or a rock band. It's like, nah, fuck that. We're a band.
Yeah.
We're creatives. We're musicians, and we write music, not reggae music, not rock music. It's people's music. What we're trying to write.
It's funny because we at our shows a big point of ours is people kind of dropping their inhibitions and just being who they are. Like, you know, fuck like who you're trying to be. Like, just be who you are. And I think we bring that right down into our music process. Like, our goal is not to have a genre. It's just to do what we want to do and the best music possible. And kind of abolishing those limitations, not only in our own mental state, but from our fans' mental state as well, is a really cool like ambition of ours.
I think he's doing a great job at it. Yeah. Like I was just gonna ask that, like, what genre do you? Because I know most of your songs.
Yeah.
And is kind of like, you know, like you said, you one reggae, like kind of feel, one just straight.
But I guess like why not? Why not write a country song? You know,
I'm all on it, and I love it. I think that's what makes you. I think that's why. Even like even looking from the like from the crowd in when I go to your concerts, it's not one type of people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not just Islanders or just New Zealanders. It's just everyone, all different types of people. You know, you see like skatey dudes, you see like, you know, everyone, and I think that's cool that you can bring all that in just into one spot. But
that's music, you know, like that. It should be experienced by everyone in the way they want to experience it, and to put a label on it or confine it to certain things, which people try to do, I think is limiting.
Yeah.
We're just trying to write good music.
Yeah.
So, and you know, there's a danger when you're trying to do this thing, because you're not. It's important. It's very important not to be a biter and just trying to be something and not. You know, I'm just trying to like. Here's this thing I've been influenced by. I'm just trying to be the next. Fucking whatever. Same with fighting, same with music. But that's how you start, right? You emulate something. You copy people.
Yeah.
And then, but it's also equally important not to do things out of spite. You know. I don't want to like. I'm going to do this because I don't want to be a genre.
Yeah.
It's as damaging and as risky as it is too. You just want to do everything with love, really, and be open and just trying to be good. Just trying to do something that's good, and those things will really shine through. I think, because that's when things become real genuine. Because even if you're doing something in spite of something, you can see it reeks of being fake.
Feel it. You can feel it. Yeah.
Totally.
And you know, one of the things I learned is that. Getting that actually isn't a place, you know, where we're working towards, what we're trying to achieve isn't this destination that one day we're going to arrive on and be like, we made it,
we did it.
It's really a thing you have to maintain, and it's just like a daily effort, just like being fit, being creative, and being a great artist is about staying in the gym, doing the little things you need to do, and so you're ready at all times. I need to be training this, I need to be training that, train my mind, my body, and my soul. I need to eat right, I need to get my sleep in, you know, I need to keep my relationships going. We need to be good with each other. I need to talk to my mum and shit, you know. I need to be all things at all times if I want to achieve this thing.
I think that's the biggest similarity for my musical journey and fighting, and my love of fighting and all martial arts in general, is just the realization of the journey over the destination. So the music, we're not going towards something, we're just we're on the journey.
Yeah.
And we're enjoying the journey and doing everything that's involved. And it's the same with fighting, I think. You know, like it's a journey and an enjoyable one, you know, and there's lots of lessons and beautiful things that you'll learn along the way that are in fighting and are in music, you know. That.
Well, essentially, we all get to do what we love. Like, I know we work hard at whatever else. We all have to be good at anything. I think you have to work hard.
Absolutely.
But we do get to do something we love and enjoy.
Yeah.
Well,
That's I
like
not being the finish line.
Yeah. Say again, bro.
They're just not being a finish line. That's it sounds like it's the same for you guys, and that's what I've found. There's just never a finish line. I think people get complacent when they think that there's a finish line. Like, I'm trying to work towards that, but there's never going to be a finish line. It's always something.
There is no place. There isn't a place. It's just it's now. Actually, the place is right now.
What is a happy place there?
Well, I don't
Punching
know.
Someone in the face, bro.
Yeah, I'm sure knocking someone out will feel fucking good. I quite like to do that.
We had
you just slap.
Bro, but yeah.
We had Mitch James on. Mitch James, was he living with you, Jai?
He was not. I think he's living with Eli, the drummer, which makes sense. He's definitely not living
Puts him
with
in
me.
the rat bag situation, eh?
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. He was really cool, but he's touring with you guys as well, isn't he?
Mitch James.
Yeah.
And he's from Dunedin as well.
Dunedin, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, he's a good fella, man. It's good. Sorry, Tyson?
Oh, man, it's going back. Well, I keep cutting you off, but is it? Was he touring in? Were you guys with Ed Sheeran as well, or has he been just touring everywhere with you?
he did that show with us and Ed Sheeran. Yeah, we both open for him. Yeah.
Do you reckon he sits at the back and just does Ed Sheeran's voice sometimes?
Who?
Mitch. Is he sound? Oh, he sound.
No, I think he was very influenced by Ed Sheeran.
Nah.
So there's going to be some similarities there for sure.
Yeah, I've been jamming his little Sunday.
Oh yeah,
Sunday jam.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, he's good, man.
He's good, man.
Oh well, the rest of your fellas tour all sold out.
Yeah, everything's going pretty wild, to be honest, bro.
Sweet.
Crowds are just getting bigger, more and more feverish, and for people listening, if you want to check out, you don't know who we are, check out our music. This album just dropped in 3 weeks ago, and I can hardly say it's our best work. The stuff we've been, this journey or whatever we've been on, and the things we're trying to become, and the work we're trying to do, and the creatives we're trying to become, is the best we've put together, and it's the closest to this thing that we've been working towards. A lot more to come, but check it out. It's good.
I know you say there isn't. I know you said there isn't like an end goal, or isn't like that finish line or whatever. But what is it? What is a time? I know you just sold out one of the biggest. Like you said, you're one of 4 artists to fill out a fucking stadium, and like I know there's no finish line or whatever. But where is the time to be like fuck?
I'm sure that time will just come where like I think we've had enough of this thing, and we'll probably. We're open to this whole thing molding too. We're not just a band either. We just happen to be doing this thing right now, and I'm sure it can evolve into other things. With aspirations of owning our own label, harnessing and developing our own artists, and challenging the status quo. Because it's a fickle industry, and we've seen the good and bad parts of it, and there's experiences we've had that we don't. We'd like to remove from the experience that artists have, and allow them to find the freedom that we think we're starting upon now. So I think we have a lot to give, and for anyone who's willing to listen, we're willing to talk and help grow. Who knows where it's going to go, but this is a lifestyle thing. I still got so much more to do, but I just think to sit back and
it's kind of freaky to hear. Like it's inspiring. Good on these man.
Yeah. Well, I think it's definitely what we want to do, and particularly in our, for my people back home, and you can, as you were saying, where you're from, and it's we there's a lot of holding people down, there's a lot of tall poppy, and a lot of people making excuses why they don't support other people, and being an inspiration is high on the list of things we want to do, because we want people to find their fighting. Or find their music, or find the thing and do something they love, and be their own boss, really, because that's where that's where you'll find your passion, live a passionate life. So cheers.
Well said.
Cool. No, that's pretty amazing to hear that, and that's pretty much exactly how I feel, I guess. And with that tall poppy, I didn't know, is it like that in New Zealand? Because that's a big thing in Australia. I think it's a middle-class society. So, in our area, we're not getting taught how to invest, or, those sort of lessons from our family. So me and Ty have been, figuring that on our own on the road. And, yeah, it's weird how families, and you weren't not expecting that from your friends. Has that been a lot with your music? Being
it's
doubters,
really
and obviously...
Yeah, it's really bad in New Zealand, and we had our fair share of it coming through, and we met that with actually quite a lot of anger, because it's like, here's one of your own trying to do something great, and then people are just behind, stabbing you in your back basically, and we were like, why? We didn't understand it, and then we've definitely done things out of spite and tried to prove everyone wrong, but I
think that's a growth thing though. We had to go through that to understand what it was and how to deal with it. And thankfully we did, because now we see it for what it is, which is it's a shame really that it's so rife.
And that's the culture we're trying to change and trying to influence. So because it shouldn't be like that really. We should be bigging each other up and showing love and support.
Yeah.
Well, you also made a song with why did I just forget their fucking name? Red starts with R.
So I was like, oh,
What's that boy? That band too. They're from New Zealand.
Oh, Drax Project.
Drax.
Yeah, we've worked with them quite a lot actually.
Yeah. they're from. Sorry. They're from New Zealand.
Yep.
Yeah, they're from New Zealand too.
yeah.
And like, how did they get up there? Like, you obviously support each other and.
Yeah, well,
So there is I feel like and plus Mitch.
Yeah.
I feel like he's kind of doing that.
We've
already.
definitely, we've laid down kind of the beginnings of that. Like obviously, Much and Marlon working with the Drax Project, writing for them. Eli and I developed and produced Mitch his latest album. So we've definitely started that process of helping these young artists and these new talents not only develop but jump a lot of the hurdles that were put in front of us that no one helped us with, that we kind of had to bulldoze through. But yeah.
I hear, like, I'm only looking on here, so there's a lot of like shit that happens in the music industry, huh? It's real.
Well, you know what, Alex? We were when we came through, I think people resisted us a lot because we were these dudes who played rugby and just picked up guitars and wrote songs and became successful. And the status quo that was in the industry, it was just so foreign to them that they, of course you're going to resist it because here's this little industry that
so that's how you were looked at from the music
There's
industry?
There's nothing, we were just not your typical musicians, you know? Didn't know how to do shit, didn't know how to write songs, anything.
So
we
that's
just did
new
it.
to me because you're like the best musicians ever. So to hear that, it's like, so that's how you were kind of portrayed when you first come into the.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's like shit to all them.
Straight up, eat shit, and we just went about because we knew what we wanted to do, and we just became relative outsiders, to be honest, and you know, for whatever reason, bro, they'd labelled us as just like a Māori band that wouldn't do anything more than just be that, and couldn't go any further, and
swear,
and so all this kind of shit and it was just strange to us, but. You know, that tall poppy has historical reasons too, you know, like in Australia and New Zealand are similar in this with that kind of colonial mindset. You know, Australia and New Zealand were tipped as places you could go, and it was no class system, you know. That's the reason we have uniforms in our high schools, so there's no visible class system amongst the people, and so that is very much enshrined in the culture now.
Is that why we have uniforms?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. So
I didn't even have a proper school uniform either. I didn't even know that.
And so it's deep, it's entrenched, you know, and so you can imagine how deep it is and how long it's actually going to take to break that system. But you know, it's still worth an attempt. And if we can make a tiny little corner of that's a happy and a good place for people to develop and feel creatively strong, then we're going to do that. We want to provide that. Just like we provide it for each other, you know.
100.
Yeah.
You make me proud.
Yeah. Thanks, bro.
Thanks, bro.
Thanks, brother.
Make me feel like studying.
Yeah. Well, I mean, learning's key, eh? You know, that's where your growth comes. As you know, like
I've been trying to read.
Yeah.
Like I'm not like try. I can read, but it's more like sticking at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One or
That's
two
really
pages
cool.
are stuck in. Like,
Yeah.
We've got a couple questions that we asked.
yep.
Man, I think this delay's got them bad, but we've got a couple questions that we normally ask at the end of our.
Yeah. Sweet.
Shoot, bro.
I would ask questions if I knew them, but
I feel like he's saying something.
His lips are moving.
try and guess.
His lips are moving, but can't hear anything.
I think it's like who are 5 people you would have dinner with, dead or alive?
Okay.
I think that's one question.
5 people I'd have dinner with.
Yeah, dead or alive.
All at once. They're all together in the same room.
Yeah, you can do groupies, you can do whatever, singles, whatever, up to you.
Oh man.
I don't want to say like the
I
typical ones, you know.
only remember this question because everyone it takes ages, so that's how I remember.
Yeah. It's a hard one. Who's up there on my list of people? Like Prince would be cool.
That would be cool.
James Brown would be cool.
The party.
Yeah.
You
want it to be able to
You're on a party.
have a nice civil dinner, and then you want it to be able to pop off if it has to, you know?
You get like Socrates or someone, but he'd probably smell like shit.
Who?
Yeah. He'd be a bore. He'd be a bore. Yeah, Plato.
Yeah.
Shush, bro.
Jimi Hendrix. That'd be great. He'd
That'd be cool.
probably be on drugs the whole time though. You know.
Aretha Franklin would be cool. Just someone you could all jam with, you know? Maybe having a dinner
someone
and
who
just
would
passing the
like
guitar around.
really
So
party
obviously,
though.
the people I would pick to jam with.
Yeah, the people I'd like to sing with.
Yeah.
Aretha Franklin, James Brown, Prince. Some fighters would be cool. I mean, Ali would be amazing, but I wonder if he'd just be a bit heavy too.
Like, do you reckon when he speaks,
So
he'd
you
just
want-
be
you
like
want fun.
saying all like,
Yeah, he'd be like, "We get it, just kill the politics, bro. We're just trying to have a good time."
He'd probably talk like to the room and not to you the whole
Do you
night.
think Floyd would be fun at a dinner party? He'd be a bit too serious.
do you reckon he'd show you any money?
You'd have to bring the bag. That'd be one of the requirements.
Yeah.
You could come if you bring your bag of money.
And you pay for dinner.
Yeah, you're obviously paying for dinner. Get out.
Is Tice gone? Well,
So he's gone.
I think there's 4 other questions, but
All good, bro.
no good from me.
All good.
Any other questions?
Nah, man.
Answer yourselves.
Bro, I really appreciated talking to you, and
Likewise.
I wish you all the best
Yeah,
on
bro.
your journey, man.
All the best,
Like,
G.
it is a pleasure to watch you scrap.
I'm not going to be able to be here on the weekend.
Yeah, but we'll see you again next time we're out here, or next time you're back home, or
I'm always
in the
there.
States, maybe.
Yeah.
When are you there?
For probably early next year, I think we'll head over.
Anytime you want to go to a show, just put the
on.
bat signal up, man.
We're
We'll sort
on.
it out.
We're on. Don't say that because everyone's going to ring me up. hey, get me my tickets. Get me my tickets. No,
He's gonna
thank you
mess us
guys.
like, hey, can you get out the 10 tickets for the film?
Hey,
Bloody hell.
44 tickets, please. Hey, guys, thank you for coming on.
you.
Really appreciate it. Everyone, 660, Machu,
Yeah.
Jai, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, brother.
Love.